So, we're here on Camp Lagoon, or Camp Baboon, or Camp Lagoon, whatever you want to call it. Nice map by Rekiem, and we got Tempires, Blue Trunks, bottom side of the map, playing Babylonian. Hasn't gone for an instant hunting dog, so he must be going spear first, because he's gone for 4 on the wood to start with. You got to be careful on this one though, because you don't want to come too close to this army here. That Centurion will take your head off. So Smiga on the top side of the map, our Red Trunks Persian player at the top. Also, no hunting dogs. He's gone for the barracks instead. Would have started doing a little bit of chopping there to get 50 wood. So players be trying to go for spear rushes, and based on the barracks position, I do prefer how Smiga's is because this army is over at the right side. The players don't know that in advance, so you can't really fault them for getting that wrong, but I guess there is an element of randomness. So there is water on this map too. Little lake over here. It's a little island thing, so this is a bit like Treasure Island, but I don't think there's anywhere near the amount of resources there. I think there's like a golden of berries or something. Treasure Island's got like 2 gold, 2 stone, and some wood, generally. So it's going to be a while for our players to actually rush into one another, and Babylonian with a rear side hunt is about the most annoying thing to try and actually Age 1 rush in the game. Followed by Persia with a backside hunt, because they're aid tent. So, in terms of like the anti-spear rush, we're actually seeing that happen at the moment on both sides of the map. So they'll sit here, they'll make about 8 units, and then they'll go to Age 2 anyway. Especially because it's a water map, so having units up to help defend that or try and deny your opponent's water is helpful. And this spawn here is actually, I should have picked this up and restarted earlier. This spawn does favor Tempires, does favor Tempires a bit. Smiga's not got easy access through here, although, is there a path through there somewhere? Well, there might be. If there is a way he can snake a villager in and build one there, then that's fair enough and I don't have to worry. So, spear production stopped for Tempires. He needs to gather more gold. You need to have 3 villages on the gold to have consistent spear production. Or have 2 and an ox cart, I think at the very least, and even then it's slightly slow. Tempires gonna have to switch hunts. Ooh, and Smiga's moved out a little bit slower than Tempires here, who's got the spear count to be able to actually pick something off. No aid tent, no loom just yet for Smiga, so he's forced straight off the hunt, and he's actually forced off his wood line here. And one or two of these houses are under a bit of threat here. They're just outside of TC fire range. And yeah, the beauty of Babs is they can just up and leave with the ox cart. Imagine if you could just put your storehouse on your back and move it with like 5 villages. Babylonian don't have to imagine. Now it's storehouses and ox carts are some of the cutest buildings in the game. Oh, missing a fight here. All that action, look. 18 vills to 19. Tempire is actually not producing anything at the moment either. But he does... Oh, if he can focus down the Spira instead of the Scout, he can win these fights pretty easily here. But he's going to have to bring something to back this up. While Tempire's also having to deal with Smiga circling his base with a bunch of Spira, but... Babylonian's OP, they can just up and leave whenever they choose. Still haven't seen aid tent finish just yet for Smiga, but once it does, it becomes a lot harder to finish this off. It'll help offset one of the spears here. But it's healing the Scout instead of the Spira, which is a bit of a mistake. So the Spira is going to fall. The village is going to ultimately have to take part in the fights here. Oh, and if you can focus down the villages here, Tempires can get a kill or 2. Well, Smiga, proving to be ever the pest at the moment. Both our players still age 1 at this point. A lot of idlers here for Tempires. He needs to get that food eco going. But he's so busy fixated on killing villages of his opponents, he's not noticing Smiga chipping away at his own villages. Tempires not producing, 22 vills to 19, so he's actually pulled ahead on the village account, even though he hasn't been producing perfectly through all this. But Tempires is going to have to age up here, and Smiga's age up's on the way. He's started the stone gathering, so he's age 2. Won't be far away. He can cut some of this food gathering, which he's going to. Get back on the wood eco and start working towards a nice age 2 transition. Tempires banking a little bit of wood is getting his age 2, but with that much wood, I think, and the fact he's so late on the stone, I think he might actually be best off just going for like a stables and range as soon as it finishes and trying to shove in age 2. Because the thing is, when you've delayed age 1 on both sides of the fence so much, if you can get a small military advantage, like population-wise, and then double down on it with a big, you know, double military production throwdown instead of another town center, you can close out the game from there. So 6 versus 6, they are under aid 10. Tempires can take a reasonable engage there. He didn't muck around too long, turned and fought pretty quickly. Picks off one of the Spyro. If he can focus them down, this is going to be painful for Smiga because the town center is going to finish up just as these spears start to attack the vills. Spyro count's been thinned out. More spears on the way here for Tempires. He's dropping production a lot here. But at the same time, Smiga is down by 4 villages. The TC is going to go up, but he's going to lose another villager or 2. But the spear's now going to retreat. Maybe another one's going to fall because of snare. So that'll be good for Smiga. He can breathe a sigh of relief. He's 22 to 26. Tempire's still not producing. Tempire's villager production's been lacking a little bit in this game, but his control of the fights has been quite good. He's getting a lot of eco-techs. He's getting a range. He is going to start working on the stone for the town center, but he is going to be able to start double military production. Though Smiga has done a really good job at just barreling towards town center and then triple production. So nice 1-1-1 opening there for him. Hippo's in a great spot. This is actually shepherding a huge amount of resources here. Like, he can protect even this stone mine with this. 2 sets of wood, the berries, the aggressive huntables, and the gold. So it's been great for him. There was originally a proper hunt there too. He's moving over here onto this hunt, but I don't think he actually needs to at this point. Oh, actually he may do. This just means he can save berries for later, I suppose. Our player's going to want to be careful to not lose anything to this little army here. And they will ultimately default to the side that the lookout tower's on, I believe. The tents do actually act as houses, I'm pretty sure. So you basically get 4 houses and, what's that, 6 farms if you take this over. Tempires adding some bearers. He's still only on that single town center for the moment. Starting to do a bit of fishing as well. Smiga, he's got his scout over here. He hasn't actually checked it, but he'll know based on the map that his opponent's already started fishing eco. 32 vills to 32, so pretty even in that regard. Tempires going to be slow on his second town center, so it's going to start to tilt towards Smiga there. So Tempires overgathering a bit of food throughout all this and a bit of gold. He probably could have squeezed in another production facility or got that town center a little bit quicker. Smiga, this is a bit of a big commitment this early on because you will lose a couple of units trying to do this. So ultimately, if you're fighting against, you know, neutral stuff on the map, that's obviously resources and army you're investing in that instead of fighting your opponent. And this doesn't actually give you as much. It gives you buildings, but it doesn't give you the 6 villages that clearing the towers in Bandit Hideout does. So that was the game that Smiga actually won against Eshwar. Tempires, this is very greedy here because if Smiga spots this, it's dead. Smiga's too busy trying to play PvE, so it mightn't be a problem at this stage. Oh, doesn't it give you all that? I thought it did. Or does it just give you the vision? That's weird, I thought it was supposed to give you everything. Hang on. That can't be right. But Tempire is forced to retreat anyway, because Smiga's been up a production facility. Tempire is throwing down an awful lot of production now. Probably needs to look at adding some gardens as well at some point. Town centre finishing up, but Smiga's been on 2 TC for a little while now. 38 villages to 46. Smiga's ahead on that note. Smiga's going to be able to clean up the fishing boat and the dock here. So, nearly 300 resources, but it would have costed 250. So it really only just paid itself off. And then an extra, what, 22 food going for fishing there for Tempires. And now, Tempires is actually taking a fight. That's not a good one for him to take here. So Smiga will clean a lot of that up. Smiga 53 to 40, so in a bit of a Vil lead, and even with that factored out, he does have the bigger army at this point. Tempire is only just now getting on Lancers, which are a great unit because they can actually hit over the shoulder of another unit. You can have 2 melee lines deep of like Lancer damage. Pretty much the only melee unit that actually has a range as such. Smiga not quite at the stage where he can take age 3 just yet. Actually, if you can get a bit more wood here, he probably could go age 3. But at this stage, I think he probably wants to just shoot up towards about 150 population. Or even get all the way to 160 and just try and push first. I thought capturing this lookout tower was supposed to give you everything here though. Like the tents, all the farms. It's a precariously placed town centre there for Tempires, but if he's got enough to hold on here, it can help clean up a lot of these bowmen, but there's just not enough front line here to deal with all the Asabara at this stage. Tempires not a lot in production at the moment. Going for more slingers, but GG, Smiga takes the game.